Good afternoon and welcome to another segment of Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and welcome. Today's segment of Manners and More with Millena is regarding pageantry and the importance of etiquette in beauty pageants, which is very, very important. First, I would like to say thank you all for tuning in today. It is so good to see you and to talk to you, and please feel free to live chat in on the right-hand side of your, or this side of your screen it should be. You'll be able to live chat with our guests today. Today, I am so honored to have in the studio with me Ms. Michelle Vilanova. She is the Executive Director of the Royal World International Pageant, and she has with her Ms. Jessica Quintero. She is the reigning Miss Mexico Royal World International. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining us today on Manners and More.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you. We have such a history of pageantry, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But please, why don't you say a little bit, tell the audience a little bit about yourselves and what makes you fabulous, because I already know. Let's let the world know.
Okay. Well, I am married, the mother of 4, grandmother of 2.
Oh, I can't believe it.
That's like the highlight of my life, is the grandmother of 2 thing. But, and the mother of 4. I also enjoy pageantry. I've been doing pageantry for about 18 years now. I started as a teen, and I've always really enjoyed it, but I really didn't get into it all that much until after I got married, and I started competing in the older, shall we say, the upper in age pageants. So I competed as in the Belleza Latina pageant system, and I was Miss Belleza Latina International 2008.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I went on to compete. I also competed internationally at Ethnic World and was Miss Ethnic World 2011. I then decided that it was time for me to start my own pageant. I'd been really playing with it for quite a long time, and I really got excited when the proposition came up to put together a pageant that was going to coincide with something that was very close and dear to my heart, which is suicide prevention and awareness. So we've made Royal World into a nonprofit.
Wonderful.
Which will allow us to be able to do both. And our inaugural pageant will be August of 2014.
All right.
So we've already started giving out state titles and international titles. And with me today, of course, is Jessica Quintero, my Miss Mexico Royal World.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you hit on something I'd like to touch a little bit on a little bit later.
Absolutely.
Where you said you didn't really get into pageantry until after you got married.
Yes.
Which is very, very unique, because most people have their pageant experience in their late teens and early 20s and things like that. So let's hold on to that point. That was very, very interesting.
All right.
And let's hear from Miss Jessica. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. Well, your tiara is absolutely magnificent.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely magnificent. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about me is I'm 25 years old. I'm a detention officer with the Los Angeles Police Department.
Wait a minute. What? A detention officer?
Yes.
A beauty queen detention officer?
Yes. Yeah, so that's a little bit different about me than most other pageant girls.
Yeah?
I mean, I wear this on weekends, and during the week, slick back, no makeup. And I work in a jail, so it's not the nicest, not the cleanest place place to deal with. So
wow, so you make sure they have their lipstick on?
Of course. I was like, here, let me give you a little shine.
I love it. I love it. Well, what made you decide? Is pageantry something that you've had inside of you all your life, or I know every little girl wants to be a beauty queen, hence Barbie. But what is it specifically for you?
Unlike Michelle, I've done pageants since I was really young. My dad started me off when I was 6 years old. It was my first pageant I've ever done them.
Wow.
And I've just kind of kept going. I liked it. I liked the fact that I talk a lot. So I'm like, this was a good place for me to express my personality and how I am. So ever since, I've just really liked it. And I really like the community service based that we get to do. So it's kind of just drilled me so much, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to continue doing it. I stopped in high school because I was real active in high school, but other than that, high school was done. Okay, time to go get a new gown, another pageant around the corner. I've actually competed for Michelle twice before, and I just really like what she stands for in her pageants, so that's why I keep coming back.
Wow. Well, fantastic. Now, how many pageants would you say you've actually competed in?
Oh my gosh.
Wow, that many.
Oh, yes. I can say I've competed. In a year, I'll do maybe 3. I actually just competed yesterday.
Really?
So I'll say maybe in a year, I'll do a minimum of 3. About 3. So 6 to 25, it's maybe at least 100 throughout the years.
100 pageants. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow, 100 pageants. So I would say she's a pageant expert, wouldn't you say? I would say so.
I certainly do. And she is a phenomenal competitor. She has a great personality. I've directed preliminary pageants. I did a couple for Belleza Latina. I did California Belleza Latina for 2 years, and then I did Latina Ethnic World for a year. So those pageants, every time I get a really good panel of judges together, every time she's competed, they absolutely love her. She has incredible interview skills that are second to none. They're really, really good.
And that's very, very important in pageantry.
Yes.
The interview is of massive importance. It can weigh anywhere from 10 to 20%, correct?
Actually, at mine, it's 40.
Wow, really?
At Royal World, it's 40.
Okay. Wow, look at that. Yeah. Well, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with Manners and More with Millena, and today we're discussing pageantry etiquette.
Hey, are you tired of those same old energy drinks with bad taste? Make a switch to Pit Bull Energy Drink with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Pit Bull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pit Bull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Make a switch to Pit Bull Energy Drink. Pit Bull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pit Bull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products. For more information on Pit Bull energy drinks, bars, and mixes, visit their website at hiphopbev.com. That's hiphopbev.com. Online orders available at hiphopbev.com.
And welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and today's topic is pageantry etiquette. And we have with us in the studio Ms. Michelle Vilanova. She is the Executive Director of the Royal World International Pageant. We also have Ms. Jessica Quintero. She is the reigning Miss Mexico of Royal World International. And we also have the lovely Tiffany Parker. She is the former Miss Maryland USA 2012. Welcome, Tiffany.
Hi.
I'm fabulous. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm doing great.
Good, good, good. So why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself and how your reigning experience as Miss Maryland 2012 was?
Okay. Again, I just actually relocated to LA from Maryland, and I was the reigning Ms. Maryland United States 2011 through 12. So I actually had it 2 consecutive years, which was it was an adventure within itself. The United States system has been around for quite a while. It's actually growing. We had minimal states, but within the past 2012, we had a new director take over, so the states have been filled to capacity. I competed in July of 2012 prior to moving here, so I did my last national competition and actually just gave away the crown last month to the new Ms. 2013. So it's bittersweet, ready to do new things, but of course, it was a great experience. I encourage any young woman to really get involved in pageantry.
Now, what made the biggest difference for you? Well, have you competed in any pageants prior to the Miss Maryland?
I had actually done pageants in college. That was kind of like my first experience during the fraternity and sorority pageants on campus, and I was doing pretty good at them to the point that the girls following me would ask me to train them. So that was a good situation within itself. So I got kind of acclimated to pageantry that way, and then after that I put it down. I focused on my corporate career. I wanted to be a big girl and focus on being out there and making a living. So it wasn't until later I decided to get back into it. But the biggest reward, I would say, is just the fact that there was a big fear of me trying at a national level, and to be able to say that I did. I put my application in. I was like, I'll never get it, and the fact that it happened 2 years consecutively. So I tell anybody, it's definitely the power of trying. Don't ever second guess that. Step out on faith sometimes, and you never know what can come out of it.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Now, how many pageants would you say total that you've competed in?
I would say maybe about 6 altogether.
Wow, okay.
Between college and then being a big girl, because I did the Miss Globe system as well too.
Okay.
And then I went to the United States, so that was about 3. Yeah. Don't want to date myself.
Won't ask me for the years.
Let's just say.
About
I made my rounds.
Okay. Got it. So you have some pageantry experience. All of you ladies are very experienced in pageantry. I've only had the privilege of being in 2 pageants, and one of them was Miss Black World Maryland, which was my first pageant that I ever competed in, and I didn't even want to, because I went to school to be an attorney. Like, I want to be pageants just like you guys. I wanted to do something else, and my mother forced me to, and then I won. Yeah. And I won Miss Congeniality. Who knew that? Oh my gosh.
That's not a surprise at all.
You guys are just saying that because you're here. But that's okay. But then I won, and then actually went on to the international competition, and I didn't do so well there. But we had the wonderful experience of being in those pageants. And from there, then I went on to judge several pageants. And then I founded a beauty pageant and image consulting business called Millena Gay's Dream It Be It. And then I started doing some pageant consulting. I was the pageant consultant for the Miss Black California, Miss Talented Teen California. I judged Miss Santa Clarita Valley, the American Cover Girl, the Miss this and that and the third. And then I was the executive director of the California Ethnic World Pageant, and now we're on to some different things. But I do have wonderful memories, and I just cherish the time that I had and have with the pageant, because I had such preconceived notions about pageantry, and I was very, I don't want to do that, and then once it happened, then I was like, wow, I have a platform where I can really reach people.
Yes.
And when I would go out and speak to the young ladies and young men at the schools and things like that, then they listened to what I had to say. Just because I had a tiara on my head and a sash across my chest, they listened to what I had to say.
Absolutely.
And my points were to stay in school. Nobody can ever take your education away from you.
Very
Whatever you do, whatever you want to be in life, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, or sports, an athlete, whatever it is, you never know what's going to happen. But if you get that education, your foundation will always be laid.
Absolutely.
Then my second one was to register to vote. That it's so very important that it may not seem like it's important, but 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 really does add up. So you have to stay in school to vote. And then my third platform was that it's okay to say no. It's your body, and you have no one has a right to touch you and make you feel uncomfortable. And if someone ever does, then you have to tell someone, tell your teacher, tell your guidance counselor, tell someone. Even if that person is someone who is near and dear to you and says they love you, if they're touching you and making you uncomfortable, then they don't. So please tell someone. And the young people really, really listened to what I had to say. And I'm saying I'm not saying anything different, but it's coming from a different person. Exactly. So, and a person of perceived authority in that with the tiara and the sash. So that really showed me what a difference pageantry, what an overall impact it really has on society. So I'd like to ask you ladies, what was your platform, or what is your platform for you? But what was your platform? I know you said, Michelle, that you have
Suicide prevention and awareness is our platform at our Royal World International, and the reason I chose that is because at a prelim that I had done, I had acquired this phenomenal photographer, and she had did some work with To Write Love on Her Arm, where the model had her makeup running and she had the word love written in her arm, but it looked like it had been cut in. So it was done very graphically. And I fell in love with her photos, and I thought, my gosh, what an interesting idea. And as I was looking through her photos, I called her up and I said, hey, I'm doing this pageant. I would really love for you to come out to Vegas and shoot a photo shoot with my contestants. The girls are going to be all dressed the same. They're going to be dressed in their opening number dresses. And we're going to do a really nice, very elegant and beautiful opening number photo shoot, crowns and tiaras. But then after that, I wanted to do a photo shoot with To Write Love on Her Arm, and I wanted the girls, you know, with their makeup running. So it was an idea, and she was very excited. Her name is Silk Negron from Silk Photography in Chicago, and because this was her brainchild. So I was so excited. So she came out, and I had junior miss all the way to the Ms. division, which were the ladies over 30. So we had a good variety of young ladies. We had 18 girls there. And we started, and the makeup started running, and the love was there, and she's taking photos, and the women are just beginning now. Now we're getting into it, and the girls are crying. They're really crying. And everyone I spoke to was like, well, my uncle committed suicide, or my aunt tried to commit suicide, or I have thought about committing suicide. Well, one of the junior teens came up to me, and she's 11.
Oh, wow.
And she said to me, she goes, I go, are you okay? Is this too much? Is this too much for you? Because her mom was there with her. Her mother was also competing. And so I said, are you okay? And she goes, no, I'm fine. She goes, she goes, there's this girl in my class. She cuts herself.
Really?
And it took my breath away when she said it. And I said, okay, have you talked to your mom about this? And she says, yeah. She goes, I told my mom. And I said, and how do you feel about that? And she says, well, I really never thought about it until today.
Oh.
She said, she goes, I feel like I can do something today.
Wow.
Wow.
It took my breath away.
Wow.
So that set the tone for Royal World International. I knew I had to do it, and I knew exactly how I was going to do it and what it was going to mean. So, and you know, suicide prevention and awareness it's a topic that touches everyone. It you know, everyone has been or knows someone who has been in that moment where I don't know if I can go on, or the world will be better off without me. And it happens to police officers. It happens to our military who's coming back with PTSD. It happens to mothers with children, fathers. And it touches everyone.
It does.
And bullying is also a really big deal. And our young people are dying at an alarming rate.
Yes.
By their own hand.
Exactly.
So we had to do something. We have to do something. So I took my passion for pageantry and I meshed it with this, and this is what I got.
And this is what you got. This is what I got. Well, Jessica Quintero.
And then I have Jessica Quintero.
Yes. Wow. What a wonderful story. And that's such an inspiration because it lets people, as I said, lets people know that there really is more to pageantry than just pomp and circumstance. There's really a solid foundation and a substance if you get involved with the right pageant. Now, I'm sure there are some pageants that are just about pomp and circumstance, and if you're welcome to go do those, then fine. However, if you want a real solid organization that focuses on community service, that focuses on helping you to become the best you that you can be, then I can say from experience in working with Michelle Vilanova that Royal World International, even though it's going to be brand new in August 2014, that's one you really want to be involved in.
Absolutely.
Really want to be involved in.
It's going to be amazing.
So let me jump into the pageantry and etiquette of pageantry. But we will do that after this break.
Alrighty.
We're going to do a Howie Mandel. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Manners and More with Millena, and we will be discussing the etiquette of pageantry. Stay tuned. welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and that commercial that you just saw was in regards to my jewelry collection, which is the Millena Gay Signature Collection. I have on a couple of the pieces right now, and it is available for retail at L&L's Boutique, 1205 North La Brea in Inglewood, or you can go to crystalcoralseas.com/MGSC on Facebook, or as the commercial says, you can just go to my personal Facebook at millena.gay, and we'll get you taken care of if you are interested in any of the pieces. And so now we will turn it back over to our fabulous guests, and we are going to find out about their platforms in what really made them decide to enter the pageant and what they've done with their titles. And then we're going to talk about the importance of etiquette, because some people don't realize that it's not just how you look, it is how you act, and it is really about how you are that wins the title. So Jessica, I'm going to turn it over to you. Now, what is your platform and what really, really made you decide that this is what you wanted to do?
I work with two of them real close, with MAD, which is Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and it's another organization. It's called Honoring Our Fallen. And the reason I chose those two is because they're touched close to my heart. I was hit by a drunk driver when I was real young. So, and that was my experience. And then in high school, one of the girls, we have a little sister, big sister program, and one of the girls in our younger class was killed by a drunk driver her freshman year, my junior year. So obviously being with us, like you said, a sash and title, you don't have it, they'll make you wait in line or sign up for this or wait in this and that. You say, oh, I missed this and that. Oh, come on in, have us, we'll come and help you around. So that was that. And now I really got close to another organization. It's called Honoring Our Fallen. Again, another one touches close to heart because, like I said, I am in law enforcement and I'm a retired sergeant in the California National Guard. So I've trained, my position in the Army was I trained the military police that was going overseas. So I knew a lot of people who've gone over, unfortunately didn't come back.
Oh, wow.
So what this organization does is we help out during the beginning stages of when the family's getting notified. When the family gets notified, the last thing you want to think about is the media taking care of this, taking care of that. So what we do is we take care of all that extra stuff. So all you have to do about is just deal with your family and deal with preparing the actual funeral.
Right.
And they have, along with that organization, there's several organizations inside, I guess, built into the Honoring Our Fallen actual charity. And we have one's called the Child Bereavement Program, which is they get little bears, the children of the fallen. And it's not just military, it's also the first responders, which is paramedics, fire, and police. So they get this little bear with the logo, and it's just it's a little logo, and in the back it says their dad's name, brother, sister, whoever passed in the back. So a lot of those little kids, they carry those bears because it's, here's daddy, here's mommy, here's brother, sister, so that's theirs. And then we also have a flag for heroes, and that's a flag at the Riverside National Cemetery. So we put out a flag for all the heroes who have passed. And then we also have Operation Stitches of Love, which is a national quilt, a national project for every serviceman, police officer, firefighter, paramedic who have passed. They get their own quilt square.
Oh, nice.
So they kind of built onto it. So they have a huge quilt. Every time you add to it, then you ship it to Chicago, to New York, to Arkansas, to wherever it goes.
Very creative.
So, and it's kind of one big...
A quilt of love.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Wow. Well, that's kind of hard to follow.
Wow.
So, Miss Tiffany.
Okay, well, my platform is self-esteem empowerment for young women. And one of the reasons, the biggest reason that was a platform that I decided to go with was because when I was younger, I was in an abusive relationship. And I learned firsthand how easily it could be for a young woman to get tangled up in a situation where she starts to doubt herself, to love herself less, and then become more subjective to being abused. Now, I wasn't necessarily physically abused, but mentally, yes. And was it heading towards physical? Yes. But what happened was I had a great network of family and friends who rallied by me and were just like, just reminding me of who did truly love me. Because one of the first things that an abuser goes for is to try to make you think that no one but me loves you. And that's one of the hardest things, especially if you come from a background where you don't have that reinstilled in you. Fortunately, I did. Everywhere I turned, I had that love from the people that really, really mattered to me in my life. So with my first pageant, which was Miss Globe, Miss Globe, Maryland, their platform was WIN, which was Women Against Violence. So I kind of platformed off of that when I went to Miss Maryland, United States, and I just developed my own project, which was the Pamper Project. And that allowed me to go into the schools of Prince George's County and actually reward the young ladies, give them the tools that they need through, I brought in speakers to talk to them, women that were out in the community and doing great things, to come in and speak to the young girls about self-esteem, empowerment, being goal-orientated. And the young ladies who did complete the program, they were rewarded with a spa package from Sephora Cosmetics. I wrote a proposal to them myself, and I was so grateful when they agreed to come on. And we did a school tour of 3 schools within PG County. So the girls who had worked with me with the program and who also had good GPAs and perfect attendance, they were awarded with the Pamper package from Sephora Cosmetics.
Oh, nice.
And we came into the school and we surprised them with manis and petties and all those great things. So I was really, really happy. And that was the first year. The second year we came back around, and I actually wrote a letter to Miss Michelle Obama.
Oh, wow.
And she wasn't able to attend, but they did, like, personally.
First Lady Michelle Obama.
First Lady
Right.
Michelle Obama.
Yes.
Her team did write me back, and they just said how impressed they were with my program, and with the scheduling and weren't able to make it, but hopefully with another opportunity they would love to come on board. So I was just very proud of that, because that was something that was very important to me and very special, and to just take the initiative. This is why I always say you never know what comes out of just stepping out there and trying, and to be able to get a major corporation like Sephora Cosmetics to come on and give the girls like cosmetics and makeovers, then to turn around and get a response from the First Lady. That was a very astounding moment for me. So I hold that near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a wonderful story. I'm going to hold near and dear to my heart. Oh, my goodness, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. And we are now joined by Ms. Lizette Magillanos. She is the former Miss California Ethnic World, and she will be joining us in just a few minutes. But right now we're going to be talking to Ms. Michelle Vilanova, and we're going to talk about the importance of etiquette in the pageant experience, because it's not just about all of this on the outside, it's about what's on the inside, and it's about how you conduct yourself. My personal philosophy is that I am a lady first and foremost, and will be treated as such at all times by everyone. And so I instill that personally in my etiquette training sessions, and that's where it came from, of doing an etiquette manners, because it's really important how we conduct ourselves. First impressions are lasting impressions, and that goes for everywhere in life, but especially in pageantry. So, Michelle, please, as from an executive director standpoint, please let the audience know how important etiquette absolutely is, and then we're going to get into what to do and what not to do.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, as an executive director, it's really interesting when I get into conversations with other young women who want to compete in my pageant in particular, or in pageants in general, and what is a director looking for? The reality is that the person who wins the title, the international title, or whatever the title is for the particular pageant, that's our spokesmodel. That's our spokesperson. That is the person who's going to be out in the public eye and going to lift our organization up. They are our face. The problem with that is that it's not just the face, because you could be a pretty face, but if you open your mouth and bad things come out, then you're not doing anyone any justice.
Right.
So the reality is, one of the reasons why I hold interview so important. 40% of our overall score is interview, and that's because I need to make sure that the delegate who wins the international title can speak well, can articulate what she really needs to say and what she wants to say, and who can do it almost at the drop of a dime. Because the reality is, you have a moment where our title holder is at an event, and it could be anywhere. It could be from ballroom, you know, some type of a huge ballroom event that's very formal, and then 3 hours later, she's got to be at a fair. You know, doing, you know, face painting for the little children. So you have to be really quick to be able to, you have to think quickly. And that is so important. So with etiquette, she needs to be able to keep herself calm and cool in all circumstances. She needs to have great posture. That's so important. And we get more into that, of course, on stage when you're modeling your fashion or evening gown or whatever it is that you're competing in, even swimsuit. But the reality is that carries on to when you've got my sash across your chest. That's important to me.
Exactly.
That's very important to me. You need to be able to know what our organization is about and what's important to you. That's really, really important. You need to know who you are.
Yes.
You need to know who you are. So to do those things, to prepare yourself, you need to do some homework.
Okay. And let's get into what homework would you say needs to be done specifically? How would one go about preparing, just mentally preparing, physically preparing? What are the things that they need to do in order to practice? And let's start with the interview. Okay. And I know it starts, and I'll start off a little bit. The interview, it starts with as soon as you walk into the room.
Exactly.
And actually, it starts before you walk into the room, because you don't know which the judges may be in the elevator, they may be in the parking lot. You just never know who is who in the pageant system. So you always want to be on your P's and Q's. You never want to use any profanity.
Exactly.
You always want to say please and thank you. You always want to be on your best behavior as soon as you either step out of your hotel room or step out of your car. You know, do all your yelling and screaming and profanity inside, but outside, you are a different person, standing, sitting, having a conversation. So, starting with walking into the room, you want to stand tall with your shoulders back, and I'm going to let you demonstrate because I love the way you make people sit with your shoulders back. Shoulders back, chin up, and your shoulders square. And sitting with your left hand over the right hand on your right knee. That's correct?
You can do it that way, yes.
Okay.
What I actually do is I'm going to move my chair back. Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's
I
okay.
made too much noise, so hold on one second. I'm going
all right.
to push my seat back. I actually like the young ladies to sit at the edge of the seat.
Oh, lovely little dress.
Thank
by
you.
the way. Have a beautiful piece of jewelry that would go perfect with that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we need to talk about that.
MGSC.
I asked the girls to sit at the very edge of the chair.
Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you stand
Absolutely.
and just pretend like you're walking in?
I don't know how good this is going to be. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
So-
We're just demonstrating.
Basically, you'd walk in and stand by most pageants have a panel of judges. It's very rare that you'll have like a round robin where you're sitting in front of each judge. So in a panel, you'd come in, you'd stand next to the chair. Good afternoon, my name is Michelle Vilanova. I am Ms. Royal World International 2012.
Now, look, stop. Let me stop you right there. So you put your hand on your hip.
You can if it will give you the posture that you need. The reality is this. You need to look like you do this all day, every day.
Okay.
You need to be incredibly comfortable in your own skin and in the clothes that you're wearing. So pick an outfit that fits you and pick something that you're comfortable in. It should look, this is a job interview.
Yes.
This is, by all means and purposes, a job interview. It's a glamorous job interview, but it is a job interview.
Yes.
So you want to look, you know, with pageantry, you can wear a suit, you can wear a pantsuit. A lot of the more glamorous pageants are doing more dresses now and open strapped shoes, which, so the world is changing. Pageantry is changing.
Okay.
So, and it's evolving into that.
Okay.
So it's getting a little more glamorous now. So that's why I say if you put your hand on your hip, if it gives you that posture, if it makes you stand better, then use it. If not, you can put your hands behind your back or put them in front of you. Whatever works, whatever looks best. And I always tell the young ladies, practice in front of a full-length mirror.
Yes, that's very important.
You have to practice in front of a full-length mirror. If you're not practicing it, because what happens is when you're nervous, muscle memory. Whatever you've learned, whatever your body normally does, is what you're going to do. So if you don't practice it when you get nervous, you're going to You're going to go back to what you know is comfortable.
Exactly, and in front of all of those people. Unless you're experienced in front of all of those people, you're definitely going to get nervous. So it's important to remember, at least have your body remember, even if your mind isn't, and your mind is like, oh my gosh, all these people, at least your body can still remember what it's supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
So you stand by the chair, you put your hand on your hip.
I put my hand on my hip. Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Vilanova, and I am Ms. Royal World International 2012. And you automatically, ladies, take a seat. Don't wait for the judges to ask you to sit down, because a lot of times they're so busy looking at whatever's in front of them, your score sheet or whatever questions you filled out, because sometimes you have a questionnaire that you give to the judges so they know a little bit about you. So when you get to the chair, you sit at the very edge of the chair.
Now let's see how you sat again. You kind of glided or glid. You glided into the chair.
Whatever works best for you. My best side is my left side. That's my personal preference. So when I sit on my right leg. I cross at the ankle. I cross my hands, whatever's comfortable, and this is where I sit.
Okay.
This is where I sit. My shoulders are back, my head is out, and I am constantly looking at my judges in the eye. Constantly. It doesn't matter who just asked me the question. I'm going to look you directly in the eye, and I'm going to answer that question. It could have been the judge sitting here where Melena's sitting. If she asked me the question, I acknowledge that she asked me the question, and I would direct my answer.
Michelle, what is your favorite color?
I love colors. So my favorite color is actually royal blue. I wear it all the time. It makes me feel regal. So I love wearing the color blue.
That was a perfect answer. That was absolutely perfect. She made eye contact, she used her hands a little bit, and smiled with the answer. She kind of thanked the judges for asking the question, even though you really don't want them to ask you the question. Thank them, because it's going to be 40% of the score. Thank them for asking it anyway, and then go into the answer. And even if you're just making up stuff off the top of your head, which a lot of times happens, but if you're well prepared, it doesn't have to happen. If you have 5 things in mind, then you'll be prepared for any and every answer. It's just about how you word it, and it'll get you through, guaranteed.
What she also did, which I really paid attention to, and I was taught this by my coach, she the structure of your answer is really good. You always want to say why, a brief why. Mm-hmm. If someone asks what's your favorite outfit or your favorite type of shoe, give your answer, but then follow it up really quickly with why.
With a why.
Yes.
So, yeah. With a why.
Yes.
It's
very important.
It's very important. It gives the impression to the judges that you know what you're talking about, that you've given, even if it's just a quick moment, you've given it some thought.
Yes.
That's really, really important, because at the end of the day, the reality is a little girl may come up to you and say, oh my gosh, I really like your crown, and how can I get into a pageant? And if you don't have an answer for that little girl, if you don't know, it changes the tone to everything. It really does. I have seen so many young ladies lose an opportunity to touch someone because they weren't prepared, or they were busy worrying about this picture, or they're worrying about. So the reality is that your priorities have to be straight. Yes. And when it comes to interview, for example, getting ready or do the homework that you do, that's part of it. The things that are important to you. The reality is that the judges, 2 things. The judges really already like you. They already want to like you. They are not thinking, is this girl going to bore me or whatever. On the contrary, they are so excited to meet you that it's a letdown when you're not as excited. So if you're nervous or scared, they're going to pick up on that almost immediately. They want to continue to like you. You've already got the 10. It's just a matter of keeping it.
Exactly. Just keeping it. Exactly.
That's the first thing. The second thing, and one of the most important things as well, is that relax. Yeah. If you look nervous, or if you are uncomfortable, it shows. No matter how much you think you're hiding it, it shows. And so, and again, the judges are getting their cues from the director. The executive director is going to sit down with the judges before they meet the girls, and this is what happens. And this is, I'm an open book basically, and I do this at orientation with my delegates when we're getting ready to compete. This is what I'm going to tell my judges. My judges are going to be looking for a woman who is comfortable in her own skin. I need someone who is not afraid to work and knows exactly what she's doing. And the reality is that in the world today, you're only going to get a promotion if you're already doing the job.
Exactly. That's it.
That's really at the end of it. So if you're already acting like an international winner, you pretty much got the job.
Exactly.
So that's really, really important, and it comes across when you're comfortable in your own skin.
It really does. It really does. I'd like to welcome Ms. Lizette Magillanos to the studio. She is the former Miss California Ethnic World. Welcome, Lizette, and the reigning lots of titles. But why don't you share with us your pageant experience and how important that you found etiquette to be?
Sure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And yes, pageantry is important. I think every woman should know that when you go into pageantry, it's not really and it's only to be the next supermodel. It's also on personal development. I personally think that anybody can benefit from that etiquette training. It helps you in every aspect in life. I recently just got promoted at my job, and I am very thankful because I was able to sit with the board of directors and say why I deserve that promotion. And a raise, of course.
And of course.
And, and it takes a lot. You have to be confident in your own skin. And I'm always going to remember that orientation with Michelle when she said, you have to act like you do this every day. You walk in your gown every day, like you just wear heels all day long.
Yes.
And I always remember that.
And what were you were trained in and that really allowed you, okay, what am I trying to say? I'm asking you if you had received this opportunity before the training, would you have been as well prepared as you are or have been now that you've gotten the promotion? Did the training help you in any way?
Oh, yes. The pageantry training, which is, of course, before the actual competition, you go to different orientations and different workshops. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it prepares you for everything. If it's public speaking, if you're in a job, like I said, personal development, you are going to talk to superiors. You are going to talk to people, and you need to be comfortable to carry on a conversation and also start a conversation and articulate what you want to say. And all those meetings that we had, where we had the opportunity to just sit around a table, even if it was just us girls, but just the fact that we were asked questions of current events on the spot and you were expected to answer within 5 seconds. If you didn't know what to say, you can repeat the question. Gives you like a fraction of a second.
Sounds like you had a pretty harsh instructor. Who was this instructor?
I know.
Who was that?
You're sitting outside in 100-degree weather.
Right, 100-degree weather. It really was 110-degree weather. Was that me? Did I make you guys do that?
You sure did.
Innocent me.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a queen and you want to be a queen on my watch, you're going to get it done and get it done right. There's a way that you have to conduct yourself. There's a way you walk. There's a way you talk. There's a way you stand. And if you're going to be associated or affiliated with me or in anything that I'm involved in, and you can say, oh, Millena, well, it's going to be done the absolute right way. And Lizette is proof that you want to be a queen? You want fame?
Put your heels on.
This is where you start paying.
This is where you start paying. Right by the pool in 110-degree weather in high heels, back and forth, back and forth. Isn't that right, Lizette?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and again, I just want to emphasize that pageantry is for everybody. Personally, I think personal development has been my greatest accomplishment with the pageant. I'm a nurse. That's what I do for a living. But I can tell you that I am very comfortable with speaking my mind with different superiors. And again, just proposing. I also do management now, so I'm comfortable.
Oh, wonderful.
And
good.
I just want to say that all the training we had was great, not just because you get to meet all these different people and you get to go to different events
and call it work.
Right, call it work. But there's also another side to it. I mean, you go into because you want to better yourself, you want to make sure that you accomplish certain things in life, and that's probably one of your goals. Like it was, I wanted to join a pageant, but I joined the pageant not knowing exactly what I was going to get out of it, and I am so blessed and I am so happy that I joined the right pageant because I've made friends, I've learned a lot, and I can tell you that the friends that I've made are probably going to be lifetime friends, and that includes Millena,
Oh, thank
and
you.
Michelle, and Tiffany. And of course, the other delegates, I'm still in contact with them, and we're pretty close because you get to share life experiences. You get to share your philosophies in life, and a lot of them, they're mutual philosophies that you can relate to them.
Yeah, and it's a sisterhood.
It's a sisterhood. And
that
actually,
it really is.
Well, hold that thought, Michelle. I don't mean to cut you off, but we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with Manners and More with Millena, and we're talking about pageantry etiquette, and then we're going to get into some more physicality about how to stand, how to pose, and Michelle has the ultimate pose going on. We already saw how to sit, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with Manners and More with Millena.
Hey, are you tired of those same old energy drinks with bad taste? Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products with a guaranteed no aftertaste. Make a switch to Pitbull Energy Drink. Pitbull offers more energy with ginseng and vitamins B6 and B12. With a ginger ale lemon lime flavor, Pitbull meets the consumer's demand for better tasting and healthier energy products. For more information on Pitbull energy drinks, bars, and mixes, visit their website at hiphopbev.com. That's hiphopbev.com. Online orders available at hiphopbev.com.
And welcome back to Manners and More with Millena. I'm your host, Millena Gay, and today we're talking about the etiquette of pageantry. I have with me in the studio Michelle Vilanova, Lizette Magillanos, Jessica Quintero, and Tiffany Parker. And we are going to now, Michelle is going to demonstrate for us the perfect stance and the perfect turn.
Okay. All right, ladies. A lot of the things that go along with pageantry, of course, is walking on stage. And, unless you've done it, it's really hard to act like you've been doing it for a really long time. So one of the biggest things that I use to help me get into the right stance is I make believe I'm picking up a beach ball. Okay, you remember that? Mm-hmm. You pick up a beach ball. So you bent over. I'm going to bend over, and I'm going to pick up this really big beach ball. And when I come up with the beach ball, I'm going to roll my shoulders back. That's going to open up my chest area, and it gives me proper posture. Okay?
The beach ball.
The beach ball.
Okay, Lizette with that beach ball. That's a big ball.
That's a big ball. Now,
Your T.
What you want to do is you want to take whichever foot is most comfortable for you. Place it in the front. You're going to have the heel of your shoe hit the toe of the foot that's behind you. So, for example, here, let me borrow your shoes.
Okay.
This is what it looks like.
Don't show the inside of them.
Right shoe, left shoe. This is what it looks like. Okay?
Like this.
Like
this
that.
is
now,
how.
What happens with that is, if you're doing that, actually it looks like that.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect T.
Now.
Okay. Can we see on the camera your feet? Here.
But now that my feet look like this, my knee needs to be facing where my head is facing. So I need to move my knee that way.
Okay.
What that does is it gives my body a perfect S. From my feet, up through my hip,
Okay,
and
now.
across my torso.
Okay, so now we see the feet.
See my knee?
Okay, I see your knee. I don't even see your other foot really.
Exactly.
So it's supposed to be one perfect line.
Exactly.
Okay.
And what it does is it forces your body to make an S.
Okay. And there's the other view with Lizette's feet. Okay, that is the perfect stance.
Exactly.
Correct? And then
There you go.
and
That's
then
it.
how are your legs supposed to be? Are they bent at the knee? Are they straight?
Your rear leg is straight and your front leg is bent.
Okay.
And your knee is facing. This is great for taking pictures too.
Okay.
Okay, because this is going to give you a slimming look.
Okay.
So if you point your knee to the camera when you have your feet in this position, it's going
Okay.
to force you to turn your torso that way.
Point your knee to the camera.
Point your
Okay.
knee to the camera.
Got it. Okay. And then the total look is what you guys are looking at, smiling right now.
Exactly. Now, how comfortable are you right now?
Not very comfortable.
It's supposed to hurt. It's supposed to hurt.
Yes, it's supposed to hurt. I remember that.
Yes, it's supposed to hurt. And I'll tell you why. This is a good, pain is beauty. And anybody who told you otherwise is lying. So the reality is if you're in this position, okay, there you go. Perfect. That pain that you feel, the way your body feels when you hold this position, that's what you need to keep in your memory. Because the reality is you're not going to have a full-length mirror in front of you when you're on stage in front of the judges. Right. So if you memorize how this feels, you will fall right into it when you're nervous.
Okay.
You just have to continue to practice it. You have to practice it.
You have to.
You have to practice it. And there's no easy way around that other than the fact that you have to practice it. And you have to keep, you hold it and you hold it until it hurts, and it's just, but you feel it up in here. Your diaphragm, your chest is open, your shoulders are back. It should hurt right about here and right here.
No gym today.
Yeah, no gym today.
Okay. Thank you for that. I'm going to ask Tiffany if you could stand up for a moment, and Michelle, if you could demonstrate the turn.
Oh, yes.
The fabulous turn while we have a few moments.
Pivot turn. Pivot turn. You know, I like to keep it really simple.
Okay.
Everyone has their own style, so I don't take anyone's style away from them. I like the girls to look individual. I don't like all the girls turning the same way or looking the same way. I'm real funny about that kind of stuff. There isn't a particularly right way or wrong way to do it. So I'd like to see the way Tiffany does it normally.
Okay, so.
That's the way I do it.
Okay.
That's the way I do it. So that's exactly the way you do it. So what you do, and I mean, it's a very simple. You're gonna step forward with the foot that's in front, whichever foot is in front, whatever works for you. It depends on where you stand, how you got to where you are. We don't have a full area here where we could walk on stage and do the whole thing. So it's basically you'd walk forward, pivot on the balls of your foot, step forward, turn, and pivot, and now you're back to where you started. So it's just very, very simple. So you don't have to walk too far, or it doesn't have to be. And as a matter of fact, if you want to keep it even more simpler, if you're standing in front of your judges like this, all you need to do is go like this.
Oh. Now
And then turn back around. You don't even need to move your feet.
Oh, okay. Let's see that one more time.
Okay, so if I'm standing in front of my judges,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Tiffany, can you do that?
let's see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how important, what are the eyes? I noticed that your eyes are doing something very significant.
Yes.
And what are they doing?
They're looking directly at the judge's eyes.
Okay.
You will lose points if you do not look the judges in the eyes. You are stealing points from yourself if you do not address your judges individually in the eye. Okay, if they're not looking at you, that's fine. You just make sure you're looking at them.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Tiffany. You can have a seat. And I just want to, if you could just, Miss Jessica, if you can show us that perfect smile, since I don't want to leave you out. Jessica's perfect winning smile.
She has a beautiful
There it is. And there's a secret to the smile, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. Michelle, you want to share the secret to the smile really quickly?
The most important thing about your smile is it needs to be comfortable and it needs to be real.
Yes.
So please make sure that you're thinking about something beautiful. Make sure that you, they've got lots of teeth whiteners out there.
Yes, Rembrandt.
So Rembrandt and all that stuff. You don't even have to go to the dentist. So quickly, But yeah, it needs to look natural. It needs to look real. And so it needs to, ladies, you won't win a pageant if it doesn't come from someplace that's real.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I share that with you a million times. I don't want someone to be representing my organization and not be a real person. So please embrace that. Be yourself. Be who you are. Just need to polish it a little bit.
And
that's what etiquette's for.
And that's what etiquette's for.
Because as many pageants I've done, I've had people who will say
that they can look on stage and they don't have any pageant experience. They can say who they feel is real and who's been, as they say, has the stigma of being a pageant patty.
Exactly.
That that's really kind of a cliche. The pageant patty look, the pageant. So you want to look like you're enjoying yourself.
Exactly.
I've had people come up to me after and just say to me, "You look like you had a great time."
Yes, and that's what's important. It's all about having fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not brain surgery, it's a beauty pageant.
Exactly.
And you're there to have fun and to make a difference and polish yourself. Exactly. So with that, that concludes our show for today. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me on Manners and More with Millena. And audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Please feel free to hit the like button or send us an email, mannerswithmillena, and let us know that you enjoyed today's show. Stay tuned. Next week's show, we will be talking about sportsmanlike etiquette. Now, what's that about? Oh, we'll have to ask people from the NBA and NFL. And you'll have to tune in next week and see exactly who our fabulous guests are going to be at that point in time. In the meantime, please take care, be strong, be smart, and be etiquette savvy, because it's not about you. It's about making others feel kind, making others, how about I get it right? It's about making others feel comfortable and knowing that you are a kind and considerate person.
Smile.
And smile. So thank you to Ms. Lizette Magillanos, Ms. Tiffany Parker, Ms. Jessica Quintero, and Ms. Michelle Vilanova.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. And our fabulous in-studio guests and the awesome Ms. Felicia on the boards. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thank you.